Welcome to Stars X. Picture this: 5 kids growing up in Boston's Roxbury neighborhood, just trying to make it. No fancy studios, no record deals, just raw talent and a dream. They weren't rich. They weren't industry insiders. They were just kids who loved to sing. But what started as a hobby would turn into something bigger than they ever imagined. Before Boys, 2 Men, before NSYNC, before New Jack Swing even had a name, there was New Edition. This is their story. It all began in the late 70s when 3 friends, Ricky Bell, Michael Bivins, and Bobby Brown, would spend their days singing together in the neighborhood. They were just kids, inspired by the Jackson 5, dreaming of performing on big stages. Then came Ralph Tresvant, a smooth-voiced kid who fit right in. And finally, Ronnie DeVoe, whose uncle happened to be Brooke Payne, a local manager who would become their mentor. Brooke believed in them instantly. He gave them a name that fit their ambition: New Edition. A new generation of music, a fresh take on what boy bands could be. And just like that, they were ready to take on the world.
Often referred to as the 7th member, Brooke was the group's choreographer and co-manager.
My uncle, and I always looked up to him. He was always bringing different groups over to my house.
Brooke is credited with furnishing the group's unforgettable melodies and electrifying dance moves.
He embraced us. He said, man, I like it. You know, calls New Edition. He did a routine with us.
He came home and asked me if I wanted to be a member of New Edition. And I'm like, sure. I heard about the group. Yeah, what do I have to do? And he taught me a routine to one of the Jackson's songs. I'm not sure which one it was. It might have been Looking Through the Window or something like that. And I picked it up in probably about an hour or something like that. He definitely worked me hot and heavy.
Most kids their age were worrying about school and hanging out with friends. But these boys? They were about to take over the charts. In 1982, they auditioned for producer Maurice Starr, who immediately saw their potential. The result? Candy Girl. That song exploded. It was fresh, youthful, and playful. The perfect anthem for kids in the early 80s.
The boys came in second place, but the crowd's response to them was so explosive that Maurice invited them to come to his studio the following day.
That night I went and I wrote the song, Candy Girl.
He knew what to do, he had that vision, he had that style and that sound in his mind.
With its success, they dropped their debut album Candy Girl, packed with hits like Popcorn Love and Is This the End? Suddenly, New Edition was everywhere. They weren't just a group anymore, they were teen idols. But with fame came reality, and it wasn't pretty. You'd think that after selling millions of records, these kids would be set for life. But reality hit hard. Despite their success, each member of New Edition received only $1.87 from their first tour. $1.87. The industry was ruthless, and the boys quickly realized that they were being underpaid and overworked.
I'm gonna tell it to you like it was told to me. It's called recoupable expenses. The record labels charge the artists for all the money that they spend on them. They have to pay it back because it is a loan.
You get issued a check for $1.87.
Yeah.
That was the first album?
That was the first album. And it was no better than the second album, the third album.
Right, it's oddly enough that 187 is the police code for murder.
Exactly, right?
It was really $1.
Maurice Starr, the man who discovered them, was making the real money. Feeling cheated, they walked away from him and signed with MCA Records. But even then, the struggles weren't over. New Edition was learning the hard way that talent alone wasn't enough. The music business was just that, a business. And not everyone played fair. Success wasn't just changing their lives, it was changing them. Bobby Brown, always the wild one, wanted more creative freedom. But the rest of the group felt he was becoming too unpredictable. By 1985, tensions hit a breaking point. the group voted Bobby out.
Well, what happened is Bobby, he was really uncomfortable with the style of singing that we had. He wanted to get into something where he could be himself and be comfortable at the same time.
Success is not without some disappointment or without hard work, as the new edition is finding out.
We work around the clock, and it's like no deadline to our day. We just go until we finish doing what was scheduled.
It's not all fun and games at all.
Don't ever think that.
As you get in this business, prepare to work hard.
Life for the new edition is far from normal.
For fans, it was shocking. But for Bobby, it was just the beginning. He became a superstar in his own right, but New Edition, they weren't done yet, not even close. Bobby was out, but instead of replacing him with another teen heartthrob, they went in a different direction. Johnny Gill wasn't a kid like them. He was a singer, a real powerhouse vocalist. His deep, soulful voice added something new to the group's sound, and in 1988, they dropped Heartbreak. This album was different. The boys had grown up, the lyrics were more mature, the sound richer. They weren't just pop stars anymore, they were serious artists. And this album, it was a classic. By the 90s, the group started branching out. Ralph Tresvant went solo. Johnny Gill had his own success. And then there was Biv DeVoe. Ricky Bell, Michael Bivins, and Ronnie DeVoe created something different. Poison wasn't just a hit. It defined an entire era of music, New Jack Swing. Their sound fused R&B with hip-hop in a way no one had done before. They proved that New Edition wasn't just one thing. They were everything. They came back together in '96 for the Home Again album and tour. But old wounds reopened. The tour was messy. Fights, missed shows, egos clashing. By the end, things fell apart. For years, reunions came and went. But no matter what, their bond always pulled them back together. Time heals. And in the end, what they built was bigger than any drama. It was history. They're still here, still performing, still proving that legends don't fade. Bobby Brown has been through ups and downs, but his influence remains. Ralph, Johnny, and Biv DeVoe continue making music. And New Edition, they'll always be New Edition. They weren't just a boy band, they were the boy band, the blueprint for everything that came after. And no matter what, their music will live forever. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.